Hello, hello, Dota 2 fans. Welcome back. Last game of the evening, potentially. Winner potentially punching their ticket to TI. TNC take out Fnatic in the second SEA tiebreaker of the day. Execration lose to Fnatic in the first tiebreaker. So, Execration, they need to win this game in order to force a second round of the tiebreakers, which will be conducted tomorrow. If TNC win this game, they move on to the International 2016. So, massive implications for this one. Either way, the team that doesn't move on in the first slot will get a chance going forward in the playoffs, but leaving it to that, certainly undesirable. TNC looking really strong all day long and all series long, all group stage long, all open qualifiers long. So really, certainly a very impressive run from them, and they're definitely a bit of a scary team. Execration as well, coming off of the counter momentum as opposed to TNC taking a late game against a heavy favorite in Fnatic. Couple of respect bans coming out. Meepo, Terrorblade, notably so, going to be removed away from Execration and TNC respectively. TNC get their signature Titan, who has been removed in the first pool for most of the qualifiers. That is going to be AU picking that up. Execration, on the other hand, they're going to grab up the Timbersaw and the Juggernaut. One of these heroes is going to go mid. Likely the Timbersaw. Juggernaut could likely to go to the safe lane. Really interesting to see them pick up their cores here very early on. It is nice for them to deny Cuckoo's Timber and Jugger's Raven. So these are almost essentially bans for Execration's side. With the Meepo, the Timber, and the Juggernaut, they take out 3 signature heroes away from TNC, but they do leave the one in the Elder Titan. Potential Void pickup to come out from TNC here for Sam H. I wouldn't be all that surprised if they go that route. Although it's possible to argue that they would lack damage in that opening at the very least, but Titan is very nice on top of the Void. Juggernaut tends to build into the stats and the agility, so Natural Order very nice against him as well. Vengeful Spirit going to be the pickup from TNC here, and essentially that means Void is still an option for them. Perhaps they're trying to bait the Void ban and they have something planned for this. It also makes the Void a little bit less attractive for Execration side to pick up. So I like that Venge pickup, but generally speaking, you don't see both supports grabbed in the very first phase. So we'll see if that ends up hurting TNC here. So yeah, just confirm now. Sorry for the hiccup there, guys, or the little moment of silence. But just confirm now in the TI6 qualifiers coverage chat that there will be a round 2 being played tomorrow, casted by the oh so lovely duo of LDZ and Winter God. So be ready for that. Very hype if that's going to be going down. But TNC, they are not intending on that to be happening. Their fate rests entirely in their hands here. Cuckoo's TA going to be removed from the pool on top of the Tinker as well. Target banning the mid lane for sure. They take the Timbersaw, they ban those 2 heroes. So I really like Execration's prep so far, at least. I'll say that much. Phoenix Lion are the bans from TNC. Void is a likely pickup, I feel, for Sam H here. Although Earth Spirit can do some work against that hero early on once he picks up a level in the Geomagnetic Grip. Still a Lifestealer in the pool. Unlikely for TNC to pick that up. They don't seem to favor that hero all that much. But just kind of thinking of heavy single target burst for TNC side. Sven is a possibility. Slardar as well, still in the pool, and there comes the Slardar. So, and the reason I say that, for you guys wondering, is just Juggernaut's kind of weakness is that heavy physical burst damage, amplify damage, wave of terror, solutions that exploit that weakness. So TNC also pretty comfortable with their draft. Amp damage on top of natural order is disgusting. You add the wave of terror in there. Pretty damn scary combination. But they are going to need some damage on top of this. You know, a lot of these heroes are just supplementing damage dealt by a true core. And it's unlikely that we see the Slardar run in any other fashion. Oracle is an interesting pick for Execration. Fate's Edict is not that great in this game, but the Purge is pretty good. The hold is nice with the Juggernaut. These two heroes can lane totally self-sufficiently as a tandem and allow the Earth Spirit to roam wherever he needs to get work done. As far as the safe lane goes for TNC, there's definitely still a couple of options left. I mentioned the Sven before, and they will end up picking it up. So kind of along the same thought lines here. Sven is very good versus Juggernaut altogether. He has heavy physical damage burst, especially if you pick up an Echo Saber. He also has the War Cry. You can shrug off an Omni Slash, at least into the early game, by just popping War Cry. So, I mean, the thing is about this TNC draft, although very good, it is a bit predictable, you know. If a scrub tier, brand new, not brand new, I've been guessing for 2 years, but if the new guy at the BTS hub is calling it out, it definitely is something that Execration are considering dealing with. The thing about Sven into Oracle is he's kiteable, not because of the Fortune's End, simply because of the False Promise. False Promise, of course, applies a hard dispel or a strong dispel when you drop it on your friendly target. So, can purge any of, you know, Stomp, Crush, Magic Missile, Storm Bolt. If Timbersaw gets False Promised up, chain away. Very elusive hero. Earth Spirit, much the same. Juggernaut, spin and run with the phase boots. This is a hero we do not see make it through the pool all that often, especially this late when there's all this minus armor on the board. So, because Execration are scared of the Cuckoo Invoker, they're going to give away a very potent hero here to TNC, and that is largely because we're considering the supporting cast around this Prophet. Natural Order, Wave of Terror, Amp Damage. The Exorcism Spirits are going to do immense amounts of work if there is any sort of long drawn out team fight. That is a scary pickup for Execration here. No doubt. They do have the potential though to burst this Prophet here. I mean, only Avenge Swap behind her is concerning. Chances of the Void coming out are pretty decent, I feel, here. Any other Blade Mail builder would be nice. There's potential for an Axe, perhaps. Even the Clockwork, although that's not seen all that often, could be nice against the Sven in lane. Vengeful Spirit has very short range in lane as well. Cogs aren't great because of the Titan. He can drop the Spirit and start channeling the Stomp immediately, and likely you will get connected on by it, but Tidehunter banned out last phase by TNC, wisely so. So, a few limited options for Execration side. Again, there still is a Void. They have a Timbersaw to dump damage in, but they don't have all that much. And TNC have a lot counter initiation wise to dump into the chrono. They have a Vengeful Spirit, which dissuades them from that kind of pick. Elder Titan, much the same, so it's a tough decision for sure. Centaur is decent here, but tends to fall off. I feel like the axe is the truly best choice here. Pure damage as well, doesn't care about War Cry, I was going to say. But they'll go with a stable, safe pick in the Darks here. I guess Vacuum Timber Saw is a thing. Vacuum Arrow Spirit is a thing. Vacuum Omni Slash potentially, if there's a Battle Fury up, can do some work as well. So I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. And as I mentioned just previously, there were limited options. Alright guys, big implications in this one. If TNC win this game, they're going to TI. That would be an absolutely huge boost in morale, and not only morale, but essentially life-changing. I cannot stress that enough for everyone but Demon. Demon's been there before. The rest of this TNC they're a young squad coming out of a region where it is difficult in some respects if you are not known on the international scale to sustain yourself as a full-time pro gamer. So making a trip to the international, even if you finish 16th, is enough to kind of promote you or encourage you to continue on this path and give you enough of the wherewithal to do so. So TNC looking to complete the dream here, guys. MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, here to break down all the action for you. Thank you again for joining us here at the BTS TI6 Hub. And I'm sorry I couldn't get a co on this one, but we're running thin. Everyone's been a little strung out. TNC Jimmy Ho Demon Doto on his signature, well, I wouldn't say signature, but at least as of recent times, playing the support role, Vengeful Spirit. He plays it a lot. The Death Prophet pick in the 5th slot seems to be one that's a very scary proposition for Execration to deal up against. Deals decently with the Timber early on. I don't know if these pings are triggering you guys, but I certainly am triggered. Alright, let's do some predictions, boys, while we're paused up. Player with the highest total magic or pure damage done to heroes by 10 minutes. Alright. Darkseer is facing a Sven. Ion Shell, certainly a possibility. Juggernaut does a hell of a lot of damage. There's a Slardar as well as an Oracle, so is there an Iron Talon on the Slardar? I will wait to see if there's an Iron Talon and maybe select Juggernaut. If not Juggernaut, I'm likely going to go with the DP. Spirit Siphon, of course, magical damage. Alright, let's see what this Slardar builds. He's going to lane. It's 10 minutes. I'm still going to go with the DP, guys. I'm still doing it. Team with the most kills at the end of the game. I'm YOLOing. I'm YOLOing, guys. Do not try this at home. Number of ancient stacks camped by 30 minutes. Sven's going to farm them. Juggernaut maybe by 30 minutes. What an arbitrary number. Let's go with 11 to 15. I may be a little low on that. Highest net worth by 10 minutes. Alright, Darkseer going to pressure the Sven more than the Slardar will pressure the Jug, so we'll go with the Jug. Raven is incredible at finding farm, though. I will just say that much, so I may regret that decision. especially on his Juggernaut. And that's why I was so impressed by Execration's first couple phases. They definitely have researched TNC, even if just in the last 45 minutes or so while they were waiting to face them. Juggernaut, Timbersaw denied away. Nando gonna jump forward with the Fortune's End. The Blade Fury gonna do a lot of work to AU here. They have enough to bring him down with the Ion Shell. The Stormbolt will connect. There's also gonna be the Spirit Siphon. They get the first blood for Abed's Timbersaw. Now Tim's in a little bit of trouble as he catches the Magic Missile, but the Ion Shell does so much work. Double kill for the Timber. It's gonna end up being a 3-death opening to TNC, perhaps. They may not be able to chase Demon down. They have another Whirling Death in just a second, and there it is. Triple kill for the Timbersaw. That's a free bottle here early on. There's also a triple kill for Cuckoo, though. Mid laner's gonna trade those. Fight recap? Is this a thing right now? Slightly favoring TNC, in fact. In terms of the metrics. 140 experience to the DP, a little bit more to the Timber, but 476 gold, so a little more gold to the DP when all is said and done. They do get the Sven down, which is good for my prediction. Have to make sure. But either way, let's get into this one, guys, and talk some actual Dota. AU gonna look to stack up the camp early on for his Sven. Got that Echo Stomp up. Gonna roam around with Demon. And I'm not sure that they can do this all that reliably. Tim's is going to come up to the top lane alongside his Darkseer, who is a bit low on mana at this point, so they're not really pressuring the Sven much. But they need, I feel like they need to get towards that safe lane at some point. Demon with just the Magic Missile, I don't know that they really have kill potential. There's no charges in the Siphon, so may just force Abed to miss a couple of last hits. Tim's going to soak some experience in the meantime on his Earth Spirit top lane, and going to at least threaten the Sven, push him back a bit. Sam H has dragged a full wave here under the tower on the Slardar. He is level 3 almost. Stomp takes the last hit. Nando going to try and basically control the lane himself as the Earth Spirit is top. Ward placed deep down, probably after the first blood, by TNC side to scout the rotations of the Darkseer and as well as the Earth Spirit. Try and keep their mid lane safe. AU gonna secure his haste rune bottom. Does have a stomp. This could be certain kill potential here. Alright, Cuckoo gonna jump forward. Stomp is there. There's a Magic Missile as well. Abed is likely to drop here. Mid lane will do so. Cuckoo picking it up with that level 2 Crypt Swarm. TNC with a nicely executed gank in this mid lane. And that is going to help Cuckoo out. We're talking about a Death Prophet sub 3 minutes into the game with 4 kills. 2,200 net worth. Double null tally up. Can grab up the Veil later on. It's going to be good for my prediction. Bottom lane, throw out the Fortune's End, but Sam H, I mean, he's sitting on level 3 right now, relative to his counterpart. I guess the Darkseer has been pretty much designated jungle, so you expect him to be leveled sufficiently at this point, but Sam H, he's done an excellent job in this early game. We saw him do this a couple of games ago as well versus orange.taring, guys. Just picks up the boots level 1, sits in this area, or perhaps in this area, and then sprints around this way to grab the first wave of XP, much like you would see a Nature's Prophet do with his Treants, but actually doing so with his hero, taking advantage of that 20% extra move speed. Or is it 28 at level 1? 20. Yeah, 28 at level 2. Cuckoo mid lane gets the Siphon off. Stomp, not going to be there. Nice chain through from Abed, and a wise skill build from him overall against this roaming Elder Titan. Gonna keep him safe for the mid lane there. Doesn't die the second time. Has that infused raindrop up as well, so will be a bit more resilient to the ganks hereafter. Nando bot lane, he's finding quite a bit of farm on this Juggernaut. But in the meantime, Cuckoo I mean, this is not a hero you want to be giving a lot of momentum, especially with his supporting cast. You're talking about Natural Order, Amplified Damage, Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror, all on top of the Exorcism, and Cuckoo is having a monster of an early game. Armlet being built into here by Raven. It's a bit of an interesting Sven build. I mean, it's not uncommon, but slight deviation perhaps from the slightly more common maybe Echo Saber. This is a bit of a How build from Newbie. He really favors the Armlet on Sven. In this case, not much to punish it aside from the Blade Fury. Well, I guess there's an Ion Shell. Blade Fury, Ion Shell, Chakram can all kind of punish the Armlet here. This is so annoying. Volvo, please. Mid lane, Tim's is going to rotate through. This is a big kill if they can get it. He has that level 3, rips up Cuckoo. He will get the Siphon off in the end, and do they really have the damage to bring him down? Chakram is there, Whirling Death. A bed finishes him off. Big kill for Execration. Now bottom lane. Stomp is going to catch Chemo on the Oracle. He's likely to die here. Will drop. Doesn't seem like they'll get the Juggernaut, but that's a pretty big commitment towards the bot lane to kill off just a lowly Oracle. Losing their Death Prophet overall in the mid lane. Certainly the trade going to favor Execration here. We talked about, on the panel in the previous games, how no one is safe in this SEA region. Teams are taking games off teams that they are not meant to beat, and everyone is capable of doing it. Except perhaps the Mongols. But even them, they got a couple of games off key teams. Warriors Gaming Unity lost to the Mongols. And Warriors Gaming Unity at one point was at the top of the group. Bottom lane, Sam H continuing to soak some experience, and not only does he have 18 CS, which is excellent for staying in lane, but he's also got level 6 amp damage there, so done really well. Interestingly though, his tower is more chipped down than the tower where the offlaner abandoned the lane. So we saw the Earth Spirit present here early on, but more importantly, the Titan was absent, as was the Venge, stacking as well as contributing to the mid lane. And take a look at this baby right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least, maybe 5 stacks. Nice Boulder Smash coming out mid lane, gonna keep a bed safe. There are 4 heroes towards this mid lane for TNC, and Execration have thwarted their attempt at ganking the Timbersaw. Nando has been free farming entirely bottom lane. Does have the 2 assists over the Sven. Jump forward. Omnislash is going to be there as well. Sprinting is Sam H, but the Phase Boot's going to keep him there, and the Magic Stick will not get him out to safety. What decisiveness from Nando on that kill. Just instantly as the Slardar approaches him going in. Now the DP going to roll through. He can simply TP out here if he wants to. We'll look to spin up. Now the Exorcist is going to be popped. Nando's going to be in trouble. Still had the healing ward for just a second, but Jimmy, he's going to rotate in with the magic missile. They'll get him. And Nando, a costly death in the bot lane. Giving up a bounty of 300 experience a pop to each of the 2 heroes involved. It is an exorcism utilized, though, TNC here. I feel like at this point in the game, pretty well worth it, but it will mean that they won't be pushing towers hereafter. A bed. Gonna find AU in the jungle. We'll get the full combination off, and Chakram should cool down in just a moment. Chain available? No, it's gonna hit. The Stomp will keep AU alive. A bed deep behind enemy lines. He's gonna chase forward for this kill. AU has juked over to the left. Chakram's gonna be thrown out, and he will be able to TP away. But that does mean it's gonna be some time wasted for this Timbersaw. Nicely played by the Titan to be able to extract himself from that risk. bottom lane, they're shoving in this tower. Nando right back to work here. Sam H does have the amp damage up, but no support inbound. And Tim's, he's being encroached upon by 4 heroes, so Nando knows he's safe. Bit of an interesting usage of the God Strength here from Raven. The lane's pushed up, so sure they get the denial, but they won't be able to push or do anything further with this. Juggernaut does find the tower last hit bottom lane, and we'll take a look at the net worth because of that at this point. Cuckoo. I mean, this Death Prophet, he's coming out of the mid lane, but he's got 5 kills. That's where all this net worth is coming from. Alright. Looks like the Juggernaut eked it out. Why isn't that? Guys, this should say correct. Smoke up towards the top lane. Tim's along with RR and a bed. I know you don't care about my prediction, guys. Please don't flame me on Reddit. Ion Shell up on the Earth Spirit as well. And they may just run into a Raven. A lone Raven here. Well, it looks like he actually sold the helm, or the Helm of Iron Will here. And he is going to go back for the Echo Saber. This is very interesting. He doesn't look all that low on net worth. But actually, relative to the CS, I don't know. Interesting. I wonder if he had lost gold from that. Speaking of gold, he's going to get a lot of it. With the Alpha Wolf nearby as well. That's a full Echo Saber, almost. It is a full Echo Saber. And I think I mentioned this being the better item choice, and I agree with it here, especially versus the Juggernaut. You want to be able to kill this hero underneath your Stormbolt if you can. Blink Dagger wouldn't be all that surprising to me to come out next. But they do have a Slaughter for those purposes. Who is sitting at 1300 gold, and Sam H had a really good start level-wise. Farm-wise, he's perhaps a bit behind where he'd like to be, but this is still going to be a sub-20-minute Blink Dagger, more than likely. Haste Rune top lane bottled up by a bed. This is a hero that will utilize it well. Maybe he groups up with Tim's here. Tim's does have a smoke, but it's in the stash, so. Top lane RR. Pretty far forward on this Darkseer. Radiant Vision does see AU. It also sees one hero in the bottom lane in Sam H, so the Darkseer, for that reason, feeling pretty safe. Slardar Venge, the biggest threats to him. At least to initiate a fight. Alright. D-Ward for Chemo. He may pay with his life for it. He won't even get it off. And that'll open the door. Here comes the Roche attempt. Cuckoo, thinking about using the Exorcism. For now, has not done so. They'll use the amp damage and bring the Sven in. Execration are reacting, though. God Strength is there, but they have an Earth Spirit. This could be a 4-man Boulder Smash. Timbersaw coming through. Big Chakram is there. He will be siphoned up. The Boulder Smash is beautiful from Tim's. The Omni Slash comes through as well. Now Cuckoo's in a bit of trouble as the Magnetize comes out. The Thunder, or the Earth Splitter, will connect onto Nando. He has the Healing Ward up, though, and a big Timber Chain. Whirling Death finishes off the Death Prophet. Raven in trouble now. Stomp will connect onto many, but there's no damage left. Magic Missile finishes off the Earth Spirit, but the Venge will pay with her life. And now half the Roshan has been dealt with by TNC for Execration. We talked about no team being safe. TNC just knocked off a top 6 team at the Manila Major. Twice. They beat them twice in this group stage. Fnatic, that is. Well, Sam H gonna jump into the pit. He needs to be a little bit careful here. Nando and Abed looking to finish the Roche. Will they be able to do so? They do. They get the Aegis onto the Timbersaw. He'll try and get out. The swap will keep Nando back, but the false promise is there in time. Can they get him out? They'll surge him away. Sam H sprinting forward, trying to find this Juggernaut desperately. He's got a healing ward in 2. Will be just fine. Tim's going to roll back into the fray. Sam H going to be in trouble. He'll get a 3-man crush off, though. Abed, he's far forward. Does have the Aegis. Has Arcane Boots. Should be able to TP or chain away. And now Sam H is in trouble. Raven has joined the fray again with the Echo Saber, but will he be able to close the distance here onto Nando? He'll wait the extra fraction of a second for the Echo Saber. Nicely played, but it won't be enough. Kick away from Tim's, keeping his Juggernaut safe. Abed now rotating through with the respawn off of the Aegis. Raven in trouble. Cuckoo there as well. Will not connect on the silence, but does miss the Timber Chain. Boulder smashes there, however. Raven is dead. TNC, they bought back for this fight. Bought back on the Venge, bought back on the DP. Lose it at the pit. All of a sudden, this game is wide open, and Xctn must be feeling so good about themselves. Battle Fury completed on the Juggernaut, on his way to a Yasha. Bloodstone soon to be up here. Just a Vit booster away is this Timbersaw, which is 400 gold from now. That is incredible how early this Bloodstone will be. Mechanism up for the Darkseer on his way to his Blink Dagger. Sam H, since dying a couple of times there, is going to be 400 gold away from his Blink. And the Darkseer arguably could farm faster. So he'll have the response. Tim's, as well as Chemo, are still fairly poor at this point. But I mean, the Titan is, it's almost this completely nullified if you look at it relative. Titan and the Earth Spirit, Oracle and the Venge, pretty much on the same level. In fact, it's about 150 net worth advantage for the Radiant side. Let's talk about advantages metrics-wise. 5k in the way of Xctn. This is the last couple of minutes right here. Experience much the same story. Blink Dagger does come out for the Slardar here. Darkseer will be 350 gold away or so. Hasn't really been farming. Radiant, or Dire side, going to use the scan and scout out Radiant here. Wisely so, as they wanted to go in on Nando there, but figured he had backup nearby. You take a look at the Dire Vision, and just now they will see the Earth Spirit top, but only saw the Juggernaut at that point. No vision in this entire area. They have the Bloodstone completed yet? It is. So Abed, he's feeling pretty good here, but he's be careful. Will now back away. So it seems actually Ward on the high ground is going to scout him. Demon in a lot. Oh, they're going to get Abed for free. He has a suicide if need be, and needs to expend it, and he will. But why stick around there? Such a questionable play from Abed. I mean, all his teammates left. To be fair, he was backing at that moment, but it's not as if he saw anyone on the map. Costly Death just picks up. That'll be an 8 Bloodstone charge now. 8 charge Bloodstone, excuse me, after starting off with 12. So that's gotta feel bad. Feels bad, man. Yule Scepter going to be completed up momentarily here for Cuckoo. Just needs that Robe of the Magi. Or Voidstone, excuse me. Voidstone, scrub. Veil of Discord completed up quite a while ago, and there is the Blink Dagger on top of the Echo Saber, so definitely in the same line of thinking as it stands with Raven. Roll forward though, Cuckoo. They are going to catch the Boulder Smash at least. They didn't get the roll, but it's not even necessary. And Death Prophet, a big kill for them here. Nando going to get to work on the tower with his healing ward. They hold on to the Omni Slash here as well. Roche not going to be up for at least 3 minutes. They poke at high ground though. Try and force a buyback. I mean, you're into an Elder Titan, so it's pretty difficult to do. But Xctn for now seems like they'll be content with their spoils. very tense for TNC right now. It feels like every little mistake for them, every little misstep, is amplified in its effect mentally 10 times. There is a ticket, one-way ticket. I guess it's a round trip ticket to a $14 million tournament right now for TNC on the line in this tournament, and Xctn is winning this game. They had a great laning stage too. Their DP started 4-0. I mean, you can say a similar thing about the Timbersaw. He started 3-0, but within 2.5 minutes. Nando gonna clean up a couple of ancient stacks as well. Deny that away from the Sven. Ends up being about a 350 times 2, 700 gold swing. Just taking a couple of stacks, if you consider that it was for the Sven. Chemo's gonna die here mid lane, but I mean, Xctn are kind of happy with this. He'll use the false promise on himself, and I hope Xctn, for their sake, do not engage here, and they won't. It's just an Oracle kill. Your false promise was used suboptimally. You don't want to jump into that. Nando, he has to TP in, so it's definitely an absorbable loss. A disposable hero at this point is the Oracle. He almost has an Aether left. He's as farmed as he needs to be. Nando still just chunking away at the creeps. "10 minutes was over 11 minutes ago, Valve." So Abed gets himself a Bloodstone charge back. Off that kill on the Death Prophet. And still very farmed here on the Timber. More so than his Death Prophet, who has a pretty damn good KDA. 6-3. The 7-2 though on the Timbersaw. So understandable. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Omni Slash there onto Demon. Nando jumping forward for more. Swap will be used pretty defensively from Demon, and a nice vacuum wall into the Magnetize there. In a lot of trouble on TNC's side. Chain forward will finish off the Slardar. Demon will be able to TP out, but that is going to be enough for the tier 2. And they don't expend... I mean, I guess they expend the Omni Slash. I would say the vacuum wall, since the vacuum cools down relatively soon, the wall isn't that big a deal in terms of their damage for the team fight. Is an expendable loss and one that they can continue forward with, but getting the tier 2, getting more gold, pincering TNC in their side of the map, it's all desirable for Xctn here. $10 Bloodstone charges now for a bed, but more importantly, 2,600 gold, and he'll pick up a Blink Dagger here of his own. Always going to be nice to kind of move freely in the fights. You know, you get swapped in, you just have your trigger finger ready, immediately blink out. Xctn will group as 5, top lane. Roche is going to be up in about 10 seconds. That should be a major target in the eyes of TNC, and already, weary of that, you'll see them in the enemy jungle here. Perhaps looking for a straggler, pushing out this lane bottom. Get that pick, you jump into Roche. At least get that extra life for the high ground. Do something that your lineup is good at with the amp damage and the wave of carry. Sven as well. War Cry. Blink Dagger picked up by Nando. And of course, these items aren't necessarily items that sell you out on the early game for either Juggernaut or Timber, but it is an itemization for the now from Xctn. They want to be able to jump in, get on the Prophet, get on the Sven, burn them down, not allow the Titan to use his toolkit of control. This is a press your advantage item from both Abed and Nando here. Arcane Rune picked up by the Prophet. Maybe they use this to Roche. I'm thinking about it. Huddled around the pit here. Xctn is as well. Man, it has to be fun to play Timbersaw in a pro game, doesn't it? this level of play. This hero literally came back into the meta because of the clear-cut challenge. I mean, there are a lot of other reasons. Tanky cores are very favored. Physical damage lineups are very popular as well. So, reactive armor's awesome for that. Whirling death for the former. But Execration, they'll be the ones around the pit. But do they do this quickly enough? Here's the thing, though. Watch this stack up. Ah, they will smoke up. They're baiting it in. Timber's gonna stack his reactive armor before the fight even begins here. Nando's used his spin. This could be dangerous. He has a blink dagger in 1 second. Blade of Terror will cancel it for now. Jump forward. They'll find the Stormbolt. The false promise is there immediately. He'll jump into the Omni Slash as well. Raven and Demon not taking all that much damage. Abed gonna blink up towards the high ground. RR gonna be able to surge out of this one. Chemo over to the east side will be brought down. Abed is in trouble. He will die as well. Execration. It's a disaster for them around the pit. Boulder Smash will connect onto 2. Nando in trouble here. Swap back. Will be able to blink out though. Stomp is going to connect onto Tim's. He will die. 3 for 1 for TNC. Roche will likely be the prize that they can claim because of it. But there is a Bloodstone on Timbersaw. He's going to be up in just a second. Nando's hanging around the pit. Abed teeping into the bottom lane. They're not doing this all that quickly. RR jumping in as well. He's going to be Yule'd up. This is going to delay things. Now the zip forward from the Timbersaw is going to try and find Demon in the backlines. RR is going to get stunned up. Chain through from Abed will keep him relatively safe for now. Nando over on the east side looking to snatch this Aegis. Abed still hanging around. Has the blink dagger. Do they get vision of this though is the real question. Stomp used to cover the possible snatch. And TNC claw their way back into this game with one monumental fight. A drop of over 5,000 net worth roughly in the favor of TNC. Experience essentially equaled out as well. Nando did not do enough damage in that fight. Perhaps the drawback of the Blink Dagger pickup. He has an Omni Slash ready here. Isn't scouted by the diary yet? Oh, he is? Creeps, yeah, Creeps actually aggro him, so... But TNC are very content with the last engagement, so they don't want to take anything where they don't have enough information. They certainly want to take a full 5-on-5 skirmish, having the extra life in hand on Raven. BKB is up, it's 9 seconds as well for this spend. I guess they got the war cry off in the Omni Slash. That must have been the case because it was extremely underwhelming. And we talked about that in the draft screen, just how much 20 armor means to you. 20 armor, guys. That is a hell of a lot of physical damage resistance. Against the Omni Slash, especially with just an item in damage up. An item or two. Battle Fury, Manta. Both of which to some extent are farming tools. Oh, Sven's gonna find Tim's bot lane. With a double damage rune, that's a pretty easy feat. Are they gonna put some pressure into this bottom lane? Nando, though, already top. They need to react here. They're actually going to jump forward, looking for a bed. Vacuum is nice. They will get the false promise off onto a bed. The Timbersaw should survive here. And meanwhile, Nando is top lane. TNC need to get out and get out fast. They need to deal with this top lane. They're going to try and cancel these TPs. A bed is going to jump forward. Raven in a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, Nando does get to tier 3. He's got the blink out as well from the Juggernaut. Now Raven's in trouble. Chakram is there. That's an Aegis, but he's completely isolated out. Instant Grip probably going to come out here, and it does. Timbersaw has the blink to get back in, so even though he chains up to the high ground. Oh, nice two-man Stormbolt, but the vacuum back, Purifying Flame. Sven is dead. TNC in trouble here. Now, jumping in top lane with the Manta, gets the range racks with ease. Oh, he could be in trouble himself, but Abed's rotating in. Nando, he is going to be stunned up. Silence, the Earth Splitter finishes him off. It's going to connect onto two more as well. This back and forth is crazy. Abed, with 20 stacks on the reactive armor up, is going to chain out, but he's out of mana here. Has a blink in just a second, but no TP. Will have to suicide. They get the range racks, not worth the life of the Juggernaut. Not at all, but they lose the Sven regardless as well beforehand, so bit of a wash when all is said and done. I mean, considering the state of the game, considering the Aegis was in the hands of TNC, of course, that entire overarching engagement is going to favor Execration, but the tail end was not ideal. Hard to say what the game plan is for TNC going forward. I mean, Timbersaw is not nearly as valuable as he was when he first picked up the Bloodstone. Only really has picked up a Blade Mail on top. He had Bloodstone Blink and 10 Bloodstone charges, so 5 is rough for him at this point. You do get a good base amount, and you also get a good amount out of the heal from the Bloodstone, but I mean, he was ahead of Cuckoo, who is now in the reverse scenario, and Cuckoo's got a Ghost Scepter as well, so we saw, you know, Warcry, what that does against Omni. Now there's potential for a dead Juggernaut. I'll say that much first. This Splitter gonna fly out, but they should be able to follow him with the Smart. Nando is going to be fast enough to take it away, but use the Omni Slash on the Slardar to no avail. So TNC are going to push it top lane relatively easily. I was going to say, we saw how poorly the Omni Slash performed with the Warcry up, and Ghost Scepter very similar. TNC will back themselves out after bringing down the tower. The vacuum, unfortunately for RR, is just short of the Death Prophet. Abed gonna look to finish up Ashivas here. It's really nice versus the Sven. Not only to lower his attack speed, but to kite him around. It's great versus the TP for that same latter reason. TP definitely was a hero that wants to walk you down. And it's difficult to do. Oh, it's interesting. Cuckoo goes for treads on his Prophet. Generally, we see phase boots for that reason. I mean, tread swapping is always an extremely efficient and valuable option to have. That Aether Lens was completed up. Our Staff of Wizardry, walking courier here. Why is he going for a Staff of Wizardry? Eul Scepter, I suppose, for the DP silence and for the EET stomp. Okay. I don't hate it. I think Lotus Orb is probably a better item overall. But Eul Scepter can definitely do some work. There is a bit of counter synergy using it offensively with both the Earth Spirit as well as the Juggernaut, though. So he needs to be very careful about when he's going to use it on enemies. Titan's got himself a Ghost Scepter as well. Slardar building into a BKB. Sven is going to have an AC or a Moon Shard up sometime soon. You expect the AC against the Jug. But Moon Shard definitely a good item as well. we have seen some farm juggernauts in the SEA region, whether out of the mid lane or the safe lane. AC is going to be the route that Raven opts to go here on his Sven. Makes sense. So much synergy with the Slaughter at the bench and the Elder Titan as well. Octarine Core, not all that far away for Cuckoo here. Played up that Mystic Staff relatively shortly. Definitely don't want to forego buyback though in this scenario. Even though Death Prophet not the greatest buyback hero, we definitely do not want to leave it off the table. I almost triggered myself there. If you don't have the hotkeys, you know, if you do this, I get triggered. RR. Oh, completing up a Force Staff here. Okay. Makes sense against the Stomp. The extra bit of mobility. And he was just playing around because he has an Arcane Rune, so why not? Smoke up from TNC. They're going to look to move likely towards the pit, but it is an absolute maximum spawn for the Roche, so fortunately for TNC, it's not going to be up. They do have vision here, but dire vision overall does not. Oh, the scan though. The scan though. They're looking for the courier here. It just has a ward, however. A bed could be a target. And now Execration gonna scan smoke. It pops though immediately. Tim's gonna get the boulder smash off onto the Titan. Crush connects onto 2. Omnislash is there, but the Ghost Scepter keeping him safe for now. He'll still get down. The Oracle and the Earth Spirit will drop. Elder Titan, the only one to go from Execration side. A bed isolated and brought down, and Nando and RR need to run for their lives. Triple kill for Raven. And there's the Ghost Scepter. I mean, Nando, excuse me, goes instantly into the Omnislash, and it just wasn't good enough. Alright, Roche isn't up just yet, but it will respawn in a moment. And TNC are going to get a little. You should send the Venge back, I feel, at this point, now that she's wave of third. To do so. Oh wow, they get Demon bottom lane, hanging around. Okay, P-Tours, boys. Apologies for that. Demon had the cheese, but I mean, his fate was sealed. His fate was sealed. So definitely wise to hold on to it. Just short of a Force Staff. That's a rough death for him. Kim's hanging around top lane here. We'll get down a ward to facilitate some split push. They've got a couple of wards to do so. Nando's finished up the Scotty as well as his Diff Blade. Diff Blade definitely makes a lot of sense versus the Ghost Scepters here. Can be nice against the Sven in between BKBs as well. Raven got a huge triple kill in that last engagement. Has 2,500 gold to show for it in the bank, but this BKB is dwindling down here. Abed, top lane, is going to go in on Sam H, and he's going to die for it. Oh, he forces down. He'll chain to the east. RR is there. TP out. We'll keep the dire side safe. However, they do not get the Timber Saw. Pretty darn big deal. And he'll heal him right back to full will chemo. So still an Aegis here. He's on the Death Prophet. He has his Octarine up as well. Not the best Aegis carrier. Better cheese carrier, in fact. So a little odd. But regardless, he'll be able to get up in fights a couple of times and top lane. Chemo does teleport out, so again, same concept in this lane as the bottom one. So a lot of potential for split push here. We saw kind of the biggest moment in the game was when Xctn were able to cancel some TP's bottom and take this range rack's top. The lane has been constantly shoved towards TNC side since then. And, you know, from time to time does need to be tended to. I mean, it's just a range rack, so it's not the biggest deal, but it helps. It certainly helps. Abed has been dying a lot on his Timber Saw as of recently, it feels. 4 Bloodstone charges. Goes for the Yules. Goes back for the Yules after picking up the plate mail, so definitely feeling the effects of this Death Prophet silence as well as the amp damage. More importantly, he's just getting bursted before reactive armor can really come to play. Mid lane, TNC gonna group up, try and use this Aegis while they can. It's down in a minute from now. They'll pop the Exorcism. That is some big commitment on some illusions. They will get to tier 2 in the mid lane and no trade found elsewhere for Execration. So essentially going to forfeit that, and it is somewhat understandable into Exorcism and Aegis. Arcane Rune bottled up by Abed. It's hard to say who's more content with the state of the game in terms of it stagnating and farming. I mean, Slardar at some point will transition into a semi-carry, more so than the Darkseer will. But Darkseer picks up a Hex, which is a massive item at some point. Timbersaw has a lot of room to grow, perhaps more so than TNC, so ultra late when the BKBs are low, I would probably favor the Radiant side. However, at this point, I feel like TNC are definitely content with getting their Sven a bit bigger, getting their Slardar a bit bigger, getting some sort of positional tool on D-Main. They have the Force Staff now, so that is definitely a very crucial pickup for him against the Timber, as well as ES. Just having a positional tool to be able to dodge their spells could be extremely influential in the fights. RR's got himself a gem and 2,800 gold on the Darkseer. Take a look at the Dire Vision right now, and they are rendered pretty blind. I believe they just picked up a gem of their own, though. Fireside does not currently have a gem as far as I see. there's one in base. So they used it to deward just outside the top lane, but not the bottom lane just yet. This ward is going to expire, though, in 25 seconds. So Xctn going to also be playing fairly blind in this state in the game. And in that sense, Elder Titan Spirit is a very nice tool to go scouting if the teams are in relative close proximity. So maybe slight edge to TNC in the Vision War. But, I mean, you look at the state of the map, and all the lanes are pushed in towards TNC's side right now. So, Vision War be damned. Shiva's Guard is about 1,000 gold away here for a bed. Still needs that mystic staff. $3,500 gold on the Darkseer. Definitely does want to be picking up a Hex at some point. And ready and waiting for the Shiva's Guard on the Timber. Definitely the next big point of interest is going to be this Roshan attempt from either side. TNC are entirely huddled in their base right now, though. Completely rendered blind across the map. So they are not progressing right now. They have a couple of BKBs. I feel that a smoke play for them is certainly in the realm of possibility. Their Darkseer has been getting some pretty darn decent vacuum wall combos off in the fight, and if they're able to smoke, get a jump, or at least get a beat on the enemies being nearby, and can pop the BKB off before that lands, I think that bodes well for their chances. 5,300 gold onto Raven. Can just get up a moon shard if you'd like. How much surplus does he have? 3,200, so still needs 800 to do so. But doesn't need all that much for a Satanic if that's the route he chooses to go. Arcane Rune going to be activated. Smoke up. Execration. The Roche has been scouted by the Spirit. Nando top lane, he may be dead here. Swap into the crush. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be silenced up. He has a Diffusal Blade. Will try and spin out of this one, but the bash is there from the Slardar. First hit. I think Raven kills him regardless. Massive kill. Nando caught out. Roche vulnerable now. TNC looking to go to TI. 48 minutes into this one. Raven jumping into the pit. No God Strength available to him. I do not think you buy back at all if you're Execration here. Doesn't seem like they're willing to do so. Abed will simply push the mid lane out. Aegis to the Vengeful Spirit this time. Cheese goes in the hands of no one just yet. 2 cheese on the Slardar. I like that decision. He can kind of just go deep. I would like him to give one to the Prophet if she's got a slot. But it seems that she is 6-slotted, picking up a Shiva's of her own in response to the one on the Timber slot. And now this is as good a time as any if you're TNC to look to close this game out and win the SEA regional qualifiers from the opens, no less. Juggernaut is going to be up into 8 seconds. Force that forward, swap into the crush, but RR, he's still safe. Demon now in trouble. Does have the Aegis Recall. They do not want to sell out for this kill, but they get a big back wall off. RR's in trouble, though. He's been bursted down immediately to the God Strength. BKBs are up. Omni Slash rotating through, but it does nothing but tickle Cuckoo. As he did have that war cry up. Earth Splitter going to come through, control up Nando a bit. Nice Eul Scepter up onto the Slark, but a two-man Stormbolt, two-man Crush. Beautiful False Promise to keep a bed safe. Big Chakram on top of the Magnetize, but Tim's, he's going to be bursted down here. Now Nando going to try and go to work. Gets one kill on the Vengeful Spirit. Cuckoo will be next to fall. Demon should die twice. Raven, he's going to get Eul's up in the air. He may die as well. The Sven, trying to make it away, will be chased down. Demon on the left, killed as well. And when all is said and done with Aegis, it's simply a melee Rax, while Nando's been pushing top. Nando gets a melee Rax top lane. Boots are traveled 2 up onto him. Tier 3 mid being threatened as well. He's got a Blink Dagger, he can go back in here. Oh, wow. He gets Eul'd up. Oh my goodness, the team literally saving the Juggernaut's life. They saved his life with that Eul Scepter. The miscommunication from the Prophet and Slardar there. Raven now jumping in, but they got the surge behind him. He's going to waste his BKB. It's now down to 5 seconds. Abed going to look to re-engage here. Just at least pop the Shivas. Sound the retreat. Massive, massive win for Execration. Again with the play in top lane. Maybe we are seeing that late game decision, not decision making, but late game execution faults that we are so accustomed to seeing in young teams affecting TNC here. Juggernaut, Moonshard completed up, 8k gold, will finish up the Abyssal, Blink Abyssal Blade, very fucking strong on this hero. Excuse my language. Late night, I can't even keep myself together here. Worried for TNC right now, 21 to 22, what an affair we have here. This Juggernaut is incredibly farmed. Octarine Core now up on the bed, and wow, he gets the Courier with 3,500 gold. It was a Hex for Cuckoo. Oh my goodness, that is debilitating for this TNC team fight. That's 3k net worth, 3.5k net worth. Completely wasted potential for TNC. Okay, so he replaced the Blink. Interesting. To keep the Diffusal Blade. Up against the Silence, it makes sense. If you don't get your, Omni Slash off, you'd probably die. Fight quickly, so. Everything ready for TNC here, but the Crimson Guard popped up and Nando will go to work. Glimmer Cape in for Demon. He's gonna try and swap back. The Juggernaut will be successful in doing so. They stun him up, but the False Promise is there in time. RR's been crushed up and killed over on the right side. Omni Slash not doing a whole lot of anything with the Eul Scepters. AU gets the Ghost Scepter off. Nando almost dies to the False Promise and will die to the Spirits. TNC with a base defense. Very, very successful. Abed does survive bottom lane. TP will be cancelled as he is able to bring down the creeps, but will self-fuels by accident. He will not meet his demise because of that, though. Just gonna hang around here, continue to push the waves out. Something he can do fairly reliably. What a base defense from TNC, and what a back and forth affair this is. Abed mid lane gonna look to cancel this, but he could be in trouble. He's gonna be Eul'd up. They can silence him on the way down, and they will do it. He'll self-Eul's though, dodge the stomp. Does he have support inbound? He'll be able to chain to the high ground. Wow, he chained through those trees to the high ground. Swap back, but he is gonna be able to blink out away from the magic missile. Abed Lovely individual play from the Timbersaw. Saves himself a second life for the high ground. He would have guaranteed had to buy back there. Only 7 Bloodstone charges means 50-ish second respawn at this point. Cuckoo has 7 seconds until Exorcism, but Raven does have God Strength. They're going to be able to glyph it out, though. And everyone will be up, so they will back for now with the top lane pushing in. They've seen this story before where Nando is able to split push, and it is not a pretty one for them. MKB completed up for Raven. He's very farmed on the Sven, but not quite Juggernaut status yet. Surge forward. Nando looking for blood. Again. Force forward a couple of times, but Boulder Smash will connect on this MH. They're gonna find him out. Timber Chain and the combo does a lot of damage to this Slardar. He's now on the back foot. Meanwhile, the Juggernaut in the front lines with his Manta Illusion will take the range racks. He's gonna get hexed up though. Cuckoo gonna jump in alongside Demon. Nando should be just fine to turn and fight. He will be able to Omni Slash up Cuckoo, but the Glimmer Cape! Again, the Omni Slash, so underwhelming from Nando. He'll get the range racks, but that is all. They lose the Oracle in the meantime as well. And Nando has just been playing his own game, it feels, when they go towards the high ground. Why don't you jump on the Slardar there with your Abyssal alongside your team as opposed to sitting here for 10 seconds unattended, throwing Manta Illusions at a range rack? I don't know, man. I don't know. That is just odd to me. TNC looking to punish it. Looking to make it to TI. Jimmy Demon Ho. Swap back onto RR. They get the right click onto him. They're going to burst down the Darkseer. He's got buyback available. The Juggernaut has expended his as well. There's no potential for split push. They have to fight here. Sam H in a lot of trouble. Can they finish him off? They will get him with the cleave. What a play from Nando. But the 2-man Stormbolt is there. Nando does get the false promise off, but he's going to pop here if he doesn't get his heal off, and he will. That's a dieback. TNC, they're gonna make it to TI. I bet he's just delaying the inevitable. Nice combo from the Earth Spirit, but it'll come down into a crush. The Timbersaw is dead. He'll buy back here. The TI dream for Execration is on the line. They're gonna drop on the Earth Spirit. Sven's God Strength has run out. Exorcism has run out, but does it really matter? They can try and delay as best they can. Demon is going to be killed off here, but he'll buy back. They're going for the Jugular. He does TP in successfully. They'll get 2 lanes. Can they get a third? Jump forward. Stormbolt is going to connect onto Tim's. Crushes there onto a bed. Hex, Echo Stomp. He's dead. GG. TNC with a miraculous, impressive run through the SEA regionals are going to come out of open